on CannaCast 420, live from the TalkCast PDX studio. Well, at least I'm in studio. The other Old Stoney, Matt Cricsione, is at home, as you can see. Our other Old Stoney, Josh Taylor, couldn't make it today. Of course, we love Josh, and we've tried to attempt a couple shows with Josh as our co-host. We just had some technical difficulties over the past, I don't know, couple weeks. So we think we got things worked out pretty good. But our guest today is Jim Davis, not the creator of Garfield, but Jim Davis, the creator of Good Vibes and Goodness all around Oregon. How are you, sir?
I am great, man. Thanks for having me in today. It's good to be back. Missed you guys.
I think the last time Matt and I chatted with you was at the Northwest Cannabis Club.
Yep.
We do the
memories.
show from there. Yeah, we do the show from there every week, and it was just a really great time. And we always had good things to talk about. And today we're just going to talk about the same thing we probably talked about then: weed.
Weed.
Good. It's going around.
It's good.
Dude, what have you been up to?
Dude, it's been a crazy. I think it's been a year since we sat down. Has it been about that long?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily, yeah. Like the 2020 season was so crazy with COVID. You know, like the dispensaries, you guys know, it all got jammed up and weird, and everybody had to start making plexiglass shields and putting ropes up, and like the pipeline, the sales pipeline got all crazy. Then wildfires. Like I remember being out in the wildfires, driving weed down to like Coos Bay and having to stop to get air filters because they're just toast. You know, like just
oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude. People don't even know what goes on behind the curtain. You know what I mean? Like just you run into other road warriors is what we're starting to call it. Other people, other salespeople out there driving. It's like, oh my god, I need help, or you know, it's just kind of a cool network. But I didn't realize how crazy the year was. So this whole time up at 45th Parallel with Kiwi and Shay and Buddha, we had a film crew embedded with us for the season, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're making a documentary about 45th and the 2020 season and the release of Jim's Dream, Southern Lights, and Druid Seeds, and like you just get used to it. It's like a boiling frog. You just kind of like get used to the water, you know. And like it wasn't until the film guy showed us like 30 seconds of his edits that I just stood there going, oh my god, like what a crazy year. Because you forget, you know.
Well, yeah, when you're just looking at, when you're at ground level, it's just a whirlwind, and you just deal with one emergency to another. I mean, not pardon the pun, but putting out one fire, running to the next one. But when you get the chance to kind of take that 1,000-foot view and back off a little bit, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you just go.
Just do work and you're running scared, like you're just trying to make it, you know. They did 2,700 plants this year out there.
Damn.
And like, all outdoor monsters. I was just glad to get a chance to be around that kind of scale. You know, I'd never been around that. You know, that size. It's because it's 3 licenses on one hill.
That's huge.
Where are they operating out of?
Out by Dallas, out in Dallas, Oregon, out towards that way.
Oh, okay.
Like
cool.
Monmouth area.
Yeah. It's a real cool little valley. It's native owned. The family's part of the Sledge tribe out in Lincoln City, and like that hill is actually the last place that tribe lived before they were moved to a reservation. And
wow.
So it's like a full circle. Like it's a whole different spirit up there, and like it's even got its own like microclimate. It's really weird. Like you stand on the hill and you'll see weather out in the valley that just isn't affecting you because it's kind of a bubble, you know. And during the wildfires, you know, it turned like there was a couple of days up there where it looked like you were on Mars. The sky was so red, you know, and there was a week without the right light, and it was just it came out fantastic.
Yeah, so the weather, I guess, would be didn't affect the growth the grow too much that year, huh?
Not. I didn't see it. Like there was like a week there where it was like, wow, this could just be over. You know, there's no letting up. Yeah, like this could have been, you know, and we don't get those federal write-offs, or you know what I mean, like
nope.
It's
you know, that's the real pickle about the situation right now, is that being a farmer, life as a farmer is tough, and that's why we have all these wonderful subsidies from the federal government.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because it's really is a crapshoot gamble of whether you're going to have a harvest or a good harvest. And being a cannabis grower, it just compounds that by a factor of 1,000 because there's no safety net. You know, you're on your own. Yeah.
None.
And
Yeah,
then just seeing this apocalyptic shit coming down on you, I imagine there were some people that were really panicking.
I mean,
Yeah.
when the cannabis industry started, I mean, a lot of the smaller companies, they're not corporate companies. They don't have these major loss plans and things, you know, long-term losses, you know, to your gains and all this crap. It was, hey, I got some money, I got some plants, I'm going to business for myself, right? That's what it was. It wasn't, oh, I'm gonna lose all my plants or this is gonna happen or anything like that. I mean,
Well,
it's a different setup.
for the black market guys, they're used to that kind of risk because I mean that was just life.
Part of the
But
business,
but
man.
now we got some corporate folk coming in here. They're not used to that kind
Right.
of
There's a
risk.
thing called accountability, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, crap, I gotta
There's
pay
those
back.
moments. There's those moments where you're standing there with investors, and you're like, you can see that we think very differently about this plan. You know, like because I'm like, hey, if the whole place disappears, like you said, we're kind of used to that coming back to yellow tape and just being like, it's not my grow, like it's over. You know, I'll start again. And these people, every penny in some kind of metriced out form for the next 18 months, and you're just like, hey, it could be gone tomorrow, man. Just live like that. You know, like
Welcome to our world.
Yeah, you know that, and like just like I said, the scale, like looking at everybody out there, I'm like, we all started in basements and garages, you know, and here we are.
Closet, some of us.
Yeah, like it's just nuts.
I remember doing like 6 starts in a closet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Right.
Goddamn fluorescent tube light in there. Come on, baby, go.
And then now you're standing there getting asked $1 million questions, and you're like, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm new. Yeah, I'm new too. This is, you know, first time.
You know,
it's weird.
I bought 40 Phototrons, stuck them in my garage. You know?
I got asked before I came on. Someone sent me a message, and they asked me. They're like, "Hey, you and I were at a walkthrough, and we saw this device on the wall that looked like R2D2. Do you remember what that was?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a machine. I think it's like $1,400 that puts out a grow vibe. I don't know if you've ever seen."
Geez.
Yeah. Anyway, there's always somebody looking for that extra little, you know, it's funny, little gadgets.
The grow vibe.
Grow vibe. It's the right frequency for cannabis.
Gotcha. So, Jim, you had your own line come out. I see you on social media quite a bit. And I noticed that you had your own line. And I'm very jealous because I'd love to have my own line of anything, you know, the old McDonald something or other, something cool like that. But what is this line of? Is it an actual weed product or is it a wrap or what is it? I thought I saw something of that nature.
So yeah, there's a couple. So I thought you were gonna go with the candles because they just re-released the candles.
Okay, cool.
The With Jesus candle.
I saw that. That's fucking awesome.
it's you know, there was that moment when I saw like the prototype, they set it down, and I was like, oh man, that's blasphemous. Like, hold it, stop. You need to get rid of the nails in the hands and the Sacred Heart. Let's just make him like a Byzantine painting guy. I don't need to be.
Yeah, there you go. Just
I
two
don't
fingers,
need
you know.
Yeah. So they did this round. It's been fixed and changed, and I don't know. They're already gone. We did some wraps where, well, it's kind of cool because you walk into people's grows, or you'll walk into a business and they'll have it there by like time card or whatever. And it's just like, because I love the community. It's just like so cool to see people like interact. But we came out with some wraps. Mine was made with, so they're grown in the Philippines by a Navy vet that moved there and retired. And it's kind of a cool story because like he reached out and he was like, he was paying people to make the wraps, actually sit and roll them out of a leaf and then put an organic bamboo tip on it. And at first I was kind of like, well, you know, like, let's check him out. I don't know this guy. He's in the Philippines. Like, who knows what's going on over there? And it was actually a cool story. Like, everybody there is making like the equivalent of like 18 an hour here, 17 an hour here. They're getting paid well. And then like he started this other program where Yeah, and like he started, and like a lot of money goes back in the village. Like he
Well, that's cool.
he's going around. Yeah, he goes around on his moped, and it's kind of a cool thing he stumbled on. Like there's a lot of older people because there's no social security in that area, and like they were struggling, and so he got them. He's like, hey, here's a bunch of sunflower seeds. Grow sunflowers for me, and I'll buy the leaves, and you can have some extra money. And so there's like all these houses. I see photos of people where there's a little patch of sunflower, and you're like, that's gonna go in our wraps. That's gonna be. It's just kind of cool,
That's very cool.
Yeah, to see the island kind of change in that area. But yeah, Kiwi has one too. His are the sunflower palm, and then mine were the Hindu. It's like an orchid. It's kind of cool, but it just has that like tea flavor. I don't know. They're selling fast. I don't know. I don't even get to see them.
Great.
Some of that stuff I don't even get to see. Like I just run into it and like collide with it.
That's
cool. Yeah, that's my face.
Yeah. Like yeah, we're at that weird point.
So it's kind of an effort between this guy and they help support the village, and then I'm sure do you see any money for that at all, or is it just more, hey, that's my face, that's cool?
That's on this project. I opted to leave the money in the community.
Cool. Cool.
That's cool.
Like
good karma.
Well, it's not a huge project, so it's like it's like let's just I think if we just start out on the ground up, building it right, eventually I'll get what I need.
Yeah.
So what's the process of getting your face on a weed strain? How's that work out?
The Jim stream. Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, this is weird. Like that is so I can't tell you who Druid is. Druid is an entity, a force, but like
okay.
I was sitting on Druid. Well, there's contracts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting on his porch one summer, like we talked about before the show. I was like, dude, we've mastered the $20 gram, but being out there all the time, I realized not everybody can live in that space all the time, or they're only buying it on Saturday night. I want them to have our weed all the time. Right. And we need, and there was remember that phase about 2 years ago where it was really hard to have a really solid mids. Like there was like a gap for a while where everything was either high end or low end.
Big time.
Yeah, and so I just kept complaining about it all summer. That I kept saying like, we need flower for the people. Flower for the people. I need that PBR that they can buy every night, And God, he just walked in one day at the end of that summer and goes here and handed me a clone. I go, what's this? He said it's Jim's Dream. It's blue, it's what you wanted. It's Blue Dream crossed by a skunk CBD, and so and that's a special skunk. Like that's an old with the inhibitors turned off, so it's just this high CBD. Doesn't leave really any of its structure or architecture. It just whatever it hits, it makes it CBD. Like it's just so the Jim Stream kind of came out. It comes out in a 1-to-1 and a 2-to-1, and out at 45th this year, it came out at 7 THC and 14 CBD. So we nailed it. Wow. Yeah, no, dude, the high, and there's a grape skunk pheno, and an orange skunk pheno. And then this summer, we grew enough of them that we found a third pheno, and it was both. So we called it Gorange. But dude, right after flower, it hermied all of them. So we're like, get rid of that.
Get rid of that.
I'm still hoping to find a Gorange though. That was the smell was fantastic, and the high, dude. It's one of those highs. Like I have chronic pain, and like I take dosed Fico tablets, or capsules, like one in the morning, one at night. To keep me on an even keel, and then that way I can smoke for fun. And that's what's so cool. I can just jam around on Jim's Dream, and I'm not all messed up and cloudy. I can focus, and that CBD, man, just knocks the fade down. It's crazy. But you're still, it's almost like a cookie high, when you're just kind of like, I could take the bullshit, but I can still think, and like, oh, well, it's 5 o'clock. I got to go home.
I've been using CBG RSO.
Nice.
And that, that's for me, it's like happy juice. I have chronic pain too. I have some hip issues, degenerative arthritis in both hips. I need hip replacements and all that stuff. And sometimes the pain is just unbearable. And I'm not into like chewing disco biscuits or anything like that. Oxys or any of that crap. I've never been able to do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. So I've been using an RSO that's CBG heavy. So it actually makes me happier. That cannabidiol just kind of makes you happy. But I love it. But I love FICO too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of using the full plant. That's I would rather have
Absolutely.
something that has the whole plant in it than anything with like a distillates or anything like that. It's not my
Give me
style.
broad spectrum all day long.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
day
I
long.
feel your pain, Jim.
Yeah.
Literally, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
You know what I'm
Chronic
talking
pain is
about?
hard to live with.
It is, and like especially like it wears on you mentally because in your head you're like, I could just do so much more. You know what I mean? If I didn't have this, like I could just, we do a lot, but it's not enough, and like I just wish I could do more.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
We
I
do
always tell people,
what we can, we do what
yeah,
we
yeah. It just chews you up though. I always joke like I didn't always look like this. Like this thing is just it's always eating me alive.
Yeah,
Over.
I,
But
I I'm the
I
same way.
just had a bout recently where 2 weeks ago I ended up having my condition just flare up, autoimmune. I'm just in bed, pain like I haven't had in years. And there was that moment where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to end up back on opiates. When you get so
Oh,
tired, like it's just not going away. And you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know, but FICO is where
yeah,
it's at. It just gets
I'm
you
with
through.
you. I like
I'm
good.
glad you found an answer to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that moment in battle where you're tired, like six days of it, you're just like, oh my God, like, what do
Yeah.
people do?
What did we
Well,
do before this? I know what we
yeah,
did. People were pharmaceutically induced to drop in
yeah,
line, get your drugs and keep on moving, right?
yeah,
I've
yeah,
had several family members go down that route, and it just never fucking ends well.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate pharmaceuticals. If there's any way I can get around doing them, that's always going to be my last option.
I had a case of diverticulitis not too long ago where it got so bad where I just passed out. Like I was standing there and I just was like, "Good night." And I'm not a small guy. 240, 250. I hit that damn ground like a sack of potatoes. Just like
Wow.
when I went to the hospital after the ambulance took me to the hospital, they were like, "Do you want some pain medicine?" I'm like, "No." I would like to know where this is coming from. I want to know what it's like. And she's like, well, we got this, this, and that. And I said, well, if you don't light it up, I don't want it. And she
Nice.
starts laughing, right? She starts laughing. Ha, 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 ha. So I ended up they gave me some Dilaudid.
Hmm.
I don't know too much about these drugs, but it
Yeah.
actually wasn't too bad. It made me calm down and relax, and so they could put me in the machine to do the MRI and all that crazy stuff. But let me
I,
tell you,
I can just see you in the hospital. Yo, can I step outside for a couple minutes?
Right.
You happen to have a
Right.
lighter on you?
Yeah. Right.
I
But
almost
that's
have
what
to
they're.
dance. And
But
you got
that's
my
what they're
vaporizer,
for.
what was that?
But that's what those meds are for.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah,
That one night. That one time. That one hurt. Not like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
right. But I can see where people get hooked on that shit. I
Oh
mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
gee whiz, I was like, wee, all right, this is
Yeah.
great.
No, and then like I'll be honest, like when I was on morphine and oxy for 8 years, and like
Oh,
uh, in high amounts, like you do, like it was hard to because I was in cannabis before, but then like it really saved me through that period. And like there was that trial and error period. So I'll catch people, I'll see them where they're like, I'm gonna go back to pills this week. Because the weed is it's organic and it's I'm learning, and you're fighting that whole curve while you're suffering, and it's just like, oh,
Mm.
I know that pain. I know that because it's just your mentality is like, well, I know what 100 milligrams is of this, and I can count on it, And I hope we can get there eventually with cannabis, where you can turn around and be like, here, I know this is what you need in that world. This is what it is in this world.
Yeah,
Here,
I think so.
it's coming. It's coming.
I
I'm
think
It's
seeing
so.
coming.
I
Yeah.
think so. Anything interesting and new coming up, Jim? You got any other projects we need to know
I
about?
got,
You got beach
I got
towels coming out or anything cool?
right. I laugh because I've got like so many NDAs in my head. I had to tell somebody like sometimes I'll stop and talking because I don't know if that's like,
Right.
like
I violated something. I
yeah,
shouldn't
will
say anymore.
that affect? No, you're gonna see some really cool things this next year, and early the year after on CBDs that you're unfamiliar with,
Ah,
that are so obscure
hmm.
but do such great things and specific things for the body. like replacing shielding on nerves, curing Alzheimer's. Like you're gonna see the sun coming over the horizon on that this next year.
That's very interesting.
It's very interesting and very exciting.
Yeah.
I can't. It's hard to sleep. Because it's like this needs to be out in the world.
Some real advanced scientific shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleep, I've been delving into a lot of CDNs. I used to be an arborist for Portland General Electric, so yeah, I've got electrocuted a couple times on the big wires. So I found out that CBN and for me is night. It really does help me for sleep.
It does. It's like I got some of that, and they made caps for me, and I was like, this could be almost dangerous. Like these were so, you know what I mean?
I wake up the next morning like almost groggy. I can shake it off really easy, but I'm like, I don't want to get up. It's wonderful.
Right. So when I took them the first round, it was the first time I woke up in years with like drool on my face. Where I was like, I slept that hard.
Sorry.
These are great.
These are great. I want a case. Get me a case of them.
I could just see that. I want to see that used in the media marketing campaign. Jim laying there with drool hanging out of his mouth on the pillow.
Right.
We're here to stain your pillow.
It's so good. I can still think about it. It's that good.
Well, I think our time is almost up for today on the Old Stony.
Well, be sure on 4/20 we're releasing that documentary.
Okay, so give us the rundown.
Yeah.
What's that going to be on?
I think we're going to rent a hall and just let people come and watch it and smoke. Like that's kind of the goal.
No shit. I want to invite that.
Yeah, I'll put it on Facebook. I'll let you guys know. We should go live. Yeah.
I think we do a live streaming show from the
live stream.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We're in.
We'll have you guys out. That'll be awesome.
Fuck, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. What's the date again? Do we know? What was the date?
4/20.
Oh, on 4/20. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 4/20, we know what we're doing, Matt. We're going to go and we're going to do a live broadcast streaming event. What's the title of the film?
I don't know yet. I just know there'll be tacos.
I love that. That should be the name of the
That
film.
should be the name of the film.
There'll be
I don't know, but I know there'll be tacos.
Fuck,
Jim
Davis. That should be a podcast. That's your new podcast, Jim. You're going to come do a podcast for us.
There you go.
We want one on talk. I want just tacos all the time. Okay.
I love it.
All right, cool.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're glad that you could join us. This has been the Old Stoneys podcast right here on CannaCast 420, of course, from the TalkCast PDX studios here in beautiful Portland. For myself and Matt Cricsione, we want to thank Jim Davis again for joining us. And until next time, keep on smoking.